How did it all come about, all those things in Dandenong? Because there's a group of people got together that was talking about we should provide accommodation for Aboriginal passing through, and to concentrate on getting a hostel and putting them into work, helping them get into employment. And that's how we got going with the hostel that I just went through. And it made a lot of sense to both Reg and I, and we loved the idea of working towards that hostel. But little did I know that I'd be managing it, But I never looked back from those days, I just kept going ahead. And I'm very proud to say that the people that I worked with, I sat with on committees and that, a lot of the elders like Mel Jacomos, Elizabeth Hoffman and Marge Tucker, and they were just wonderful leaders and wonderful people to work for. They knew what we wanted, and we went about it that way. I worked for the Uniting Church as a liaison officer, as an Aboriginal liaison officer to Synod, Victoria, and that my job was to make sure there was handover of property to Aboriginal groups. And the churches had no relationships with Aboriginal people. So they had no idea how to go in to make friends with Aboriginal people. And that was my job, to break down the barriers and get to churches in there, and just to have a relationship and to let them know what we were doing. So I set up an advisory council of Aboriginal people from different areas like Bairnsdale, Fram and Echuca and those that was involved in cooperatives. And when submissions would come in for land, they would help me go through those submissions. And so 7 properties were handed back in the 9 years that I worked there. And as I was working on the transfers of property in Victoria, the National Uniting Aboriginal and Islander Christian Congress was coming into being. So I felt, and the church felt too, that I should support them in some way, because we raised money to pay for the properties. We also was able to give money to start off the Congress. I worked for the United Church for 9 years, and I went to them and I said, I can't do any more now, that I would like to go back to the community if I can, So I had a break, and then I went to work at Margaret Tucker. I went there to just do sleepovers, and then they asked me would I take on the role for 2 years. I told them I'd do it for 2 years as manager. I ended up staying for 21 years. But the Margaret Tucker is for girls at risk, and they live in our services when they come in. And I had 3 youth workers and a bookkeeper. And it's been a lot of successful stories, and Margaret Tucker is a very, very important organisation. It's for girls who are living in home. When the family breakdown or there's violence, they have to have somewhere to go. And we work in partnership with the Department of Human Services, and very successfully done. And I do believe we've done our work very well at the Margaret Tucker Hostel. When I got the Robin Clark Award, I knew then that I did do my work well, and that was I was on about. The children had to come. The kids that come into our service came first with me. It was a home away from home. It was done a little bit different from mainstream, but I had to be culturally sensitive to the need, and that's how we was able to be so successful in our work at Margaret Tucker Hostel, because we had to do it our way, and it worked. It worked. Well, I was overwhelmed. I was very honoured to receive such an honour from the Indigenous Honour Roll, and to recognise the work that we were involved, and that's giving us recognition, I suppose, of the work. We don't look for limelight. In 2011, I was inducted into the Government Victorian Aboriginal Honour Roll.
And there's another award that you won too.
The Robin Clark?
Yeah, the Robin Clark
Yeah,
award.
that was for my work with the girls when I worked at the March Tucker Hostel.
Okay.
Because Robin Clark was a very, very, very high in the Department of Human Services. When you look back, you wonder how you done it. No.
With 4 children.
But you just get in and do it.